What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another video of the Dynasty Dweebs. Please remember that we are on YouTube and Apple Podcasts, however you prefer watching or listening. I'm joined here with Jim Brooks.
Ready for another great video.
Today we're going to be covering Cam Newton and the Patriots and how he affects the New England Patriots value from a redraft outlook and a dynasty outlook. So we're going to start with Cam Newton. Are you a fan of this move or not a fan of this move by the Patriots?
I mean, it's definitely better for. I definitely like the move for the Patriots for a 1 year prove it deal.
Okay. Just muted myself on accident.
I didn't hear what you said.
Yeah. It's fun. Can't really completely shit on Stedham because we didn't really get to see him play.
Yeah,
but I think they need an established quarterback. They can't. I don't see the Patriots rocking with Stedham, really.
I mean, it's nice to have. He can have another year to just kind of develop, hone his skills, and then maybe, depending on how the season goes, he becomes their starter, or they end up re-signing Cam Newton. Who knows?
Yeah. So I guess we can just take a look at Cam Newton's stats for the last season that he played in 2018. He played 14 games, 320 completions off 471 attempts, 67.9% completion rating. Is actually his highest completion rating throughout his career. He passed for 3,300 yards, 24 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. And he also rushed for 4 touchdowns that year. For 101 rushing attempts. Beautiful. 488 yards. He's a good player. I don't know why he's being slept on so hard. Is it the injuries?
He's a mobile quarterback that I guess people aren't very sold on his athleticism.
But we're just sold on Lamar Jackson, though, right?
Well, yeah, but he hasn't had injuries that have, and a big 8-year, or is he 7 or 8 years older? That kind of makes a big difference,
right? So what? How? Okay, so I guess let's just get down to it. Where is he ranked on your rankings? Are you gonna give him a chance to be a QB1 or no? Because I'm gonna give him the chance. I think he could. I think he could finish in the top 10.
I don't think he will.
I don't say I think he will. I'm thinking he could.
Anyone could. Gardner Minshew could be the number 3 guy.
Right, so you want me to say, okay, I think he'll be in the top 15 then.
I think he'll be in the lower half.
If he stays healthy. So what, top 20 or top 25? How low are we going?
20. 20. But the weapons he has at his disposal aren't exactly...
Same thing Tom Brady had last year.
Yeah, but Tom Brady's been with those guys forever.
But from a fantasy perspective, this is a guy that runs the ball a lot more than Tom Brady. So hopefully he gets some rushing touchdowns.
That's fair.
Do you think he plays the whole season? Let's take away the injury. Do you think his ability to play football, his skill, will keep him for the whole year? Or do you think he'll be replaced by Stedham at one point in time?
I don't think he'll be replaced unless, obviously, he's shitting the bed.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think his skill will ever cause him not to be in the game?
Sure. It's always possible.
I don't think so. I'm surprised it took him this long to make the move. I'm wondering if there was something going on with him getting cleared for injury or something.
That or the Patriots just were
maybe they were waiting
really
for
sold on
else.
Stidham or whatever it could have been.
I mean, I love it. I mean, I think he's going to play really, really well, and I think that him being on the team really changes the division. I haven't looked at the Vegas odds and how they've changed because I'm sure it was the Bills favored to win. So I don't know what's changed about that, but so in a dynasty perspective, do you think that I don't even know what percent he's rostered in dynasty leagues? He might not be rostered. Would you pick him up? I mean, I'd pick him up.
I'd be avoiding him at this point.
I think. I mean, if you're adding a waiver wire, it's not
Sure.
hurting you
I
really.
mean, no, it's not. It's just a guy to sit on your roster that could possibly come in, depending on what happens with your other guys if they get hurt or whatnot happens.
Also, don't know what his ADP is, but I'm assuming you're taking this guy like
Not
after
high.
the 10th round. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Would you rather have him or Big Ben?
Dynasty Cam Newton,
No, just redraft value.
Ben Roethlisberger, 100%.
All right. I don't have much more to say about Cam Newton. We pretty much discussed everything because we can't say too much. Haven't really seen him play for a whole year, you know.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to say.
But I think people are more interested in how he's going to affect the Patriots as a whole than his actual value. So let's get into that. Let's start with how he's going to affect these receivers.
Okay. So are we just doing Edelman, N'Keal Harry, and Sanu? I'm assuming.
Okay. Yep. And also Jacoby Myers, even though he didn't play that much. Where is he?
I don't think anyone's going to be worried about Jacoby Myers. He's the fourth option.
He's a rookie, right?
He's a second-year player now.
Right, but okay, whatever. All right. There's a lot of players on this roster that aren't with the team now. Is Phil Dorsett still with the team?
No, I don't think so.
He is on the Seahawks now. Okay. So, yeah, N'Keal Harry, Julian Edelman, and Sanu. I already saw Cam Newton. So let's start with Sanu because that's who I recently just saw a video on. Sanu and Newton are already working out together.
Have him play quarterback. What are they thinking? God.
Maybe
a high school quarterback.
I know Cam Newton can actually catch a ball, and like Tom Brady, he would have made that catch in the Super Bowl.
So the reports via Rotoballer 8 days ago say that Mohamed Sanu's in better shape after his surgery. He had a off-season ankle surgery for a high ankle sprain. He's feeling better. Probably going to be faster, quicker, leaner, and better shape prior. But
he's a wide receiver 3 for me at best.
I mean, look where he finished last year and playing 15 games. He finished number 58 in PPR, 71 standard. He's not really a guy.
Am I looking at the right stat season?
I'm looking at Sleeper. 2019, he had 89 targets, 59 receptions, 520 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Oh my God, I'm looking at the rushing stats.
Nice.
He had 8 rushing attempts. Just kidding. He had 1. Okay.
So Mohamed Sanu is not really a guy that's ever been fantasy relevant in his career. He's just a good player for an actual football team, like helping you win games.
I mean, he's a plug and play for fantasy. I wouldn't say I would want him on my dynasty roster. In
2017 and 18, he had his best finishes at 29 and 31 in PPR and 32 and 30, and he had 29 in 2014. But
yeah, okay, we're actually not going to talk about Jacoby Myers either because he had as many receptions as Mohamed Sanu did in half the games. Mohamed Sanu has many receptions in half the games of Jacoby Myers. So
yeah, he's not really relevant. Okay, Mohamed Sanu's not even fantasy relevant at this point.
Yeah, let's talk about Edelman and then we'll go to Harry. Edelman, still relevant for me, especially PPR.
He finished as the number 7 guy last year.
I think he's still going to be insane. Dude, the dude ages like Tom Brady.
I think this was Brady's security blanket and the guy he just threw the ball to all the time.
And I think
I don't know if we'll see that
for Cam Newton though.
I think James White's going to have that role, actually. He's going to be like a Christian McCaffrey type person for Cam Newton, in my opinion.
All right. So, okay, let's focus on Edelman for
So
1
I think
second.
Edelman dials back is basically what I'm saying. I don't think
But
he's going to be a
so
useless
more,
player, but I
I'll
don't
put
think
him
he'll
as
be a top 10.
a high end wide receiver too. Or are you on
I
more
think
low? Are you more low endish?
definitely lower on wide
Okay.
receiver too. I just don't see him having the same volume as he did last year when I think James White's going to pick up more.
Yeah.
And I think if N'Keal Harry ends up staying healthy, he'll also have reps taken from Edelman essentially.
Yeah, I'm really high on N'Keal Harry from a dynasty perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you have him, that's great. And if you don't have him, it's going to be way too hard to get him now. You could also
Yeah.
sell the hype. I mean, if you think that the Cam Newton stuff, I mean, the Cam Newton thing's really pumping it. His value is going way up with Cam Newton.
Mm-hmm.
So, however you want to view that, it's up to you. I would try to buy him. I think that even if Cam Newton has a bad year, that whatever quarter he's just going to thrive on the Patriots. I think N'Keal Harry could be a great receiver on the Patriots.
Mm-hmm.
He's I can't rank him. That's for sure. I'll put him in the top 30, but that's the best I can do.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, the games he did play, N'Keal Harry didn't really show out anything special.
No, I know. Yeah.
50% catch rate, 12 catches for 105 yards, 8.75 per catch.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this team could just literally just sign a wide receiver at any point.
I mean, that's what they traded that pick for Sanu, and that really didn't end up panning out too well for them, I feel like. At least
true.
as a team, yeah, I think it helps, but fantasy-wise, doesn't do anything.
Bottom of the line,
Which is what we
bottom
care
line
about.
is, though, I'm not too crazy about any of the receivers on this team.
No, I mean, the one you'd be crazy about is Julian Edelman, who I'm dynasty-wise, I'm never going to be near him at his age and redraft.
I have him in my one league.
I don't know where Edelman goes in drafts, honestly. I feel like in redraft, people would probably sleep on him, honestly, and you could maybe find him later.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like,
because his name doesn't, in my head, I don't think wide receiver 1. And now that was kind of like a freak year for him because he hasn't ever really.
Like,
I mean, he's been good.
How do you feel about this team? I'm going to give you a team with like a bunch of players like that. Okay. You had Julian Edelman, Le'Veon Bell, David Johnson, and Devonta Parker. Would you be cool with that? And then your quarterback's Pat Mahomes or something?
I would not be cool. I would not. Jesus Christ.
Okay, so let's say you went really early tight end quarterback. You had Mahomes, Kelsey, and then you had Lev Bell. Who else I say?
David Johnson,
Devonta Parker, and Edelman.
Jesus. I wouldn't be.
You got the vets.
Yeah. Yeah.
You also have James Conner as your flex. How's that?
It's a lot of guys I don't really care for too much. I mean, I love Mahomes and Kelsey, but everyone else.
Jeez, you're getting kind of greedy. I'm giving you a bunch of players.
Mm-hmm.
Where's your camera at?
I'm sorry. I received a phone call. Hopefully, I don't get any more of those.
I mean, you can go blank. It's okay. Yeah. You want to get into the rushing real quick? Well, you talked about James White receiving. Do you see an uptick in his receptions? He had
72 receptions from 95 targets.
Do you see that regressing or staying around the same, being a little better?
I think it could go up.
Go up?
To be fair.
Okay.
Let's see. I just want to briefly look at what McCaffrey had. Now, obviously, it wasn't with Cam Newton in 2019, but the previous year in 18, he had 107 receptions. McCaffrey had 107 receptions in 2018.
Yeah.
And 80 in 2017. So, no, obviously James White and McCaffrey are two different, beasts there.
For sure. James White's more focus is on just receiving.
Yeah, which I think will benefit him and having a dump-off guy similar to McCaffrey and James White in a sense.
Let's talk about Sony Michel.
Oh, boy. Good
Played
knees.
16 games. Yeah, 247 attempts. Did not break the 1,000-yard mark.
It was
Averaged
close. Those yards
3.7
per carry. Yeah, the yards
3.7
per
yards
carry
per
is gross.
carry.
He did have 7 touchdowns.
Longest rush 26 yards. I mean, yeah, 26 yards.
I mean, it is what it is. He just didn't have any
Um,
giant breakout run that was like 70 yards. That's not.
yeah. See, my value was like I like the value for him with Stedham more because I think Cam Newton's gonna take away some of the touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely. I complained about his injuries, but he actually played all 16 games last year.
No, yeah, I don't think the injury is that big of a deal. Um,
He also
that
had
was just
foot
something
surgery.
coming into the draft.
Yeah, and he missed 3 games as a rookie, which I feel like he missed more. So maybe I'm
So
undervaluing.
here's my pro. Let's go over the cons with Sonny Michel. He didn't have a good season last year. Cam Newton's here now. I would argue that he's going to have a couple QB sneak plays, or he's going to run the ball in. Rex Burkhead is still on the team, which really pisses me off.
Yeah, Rex Burkhead.
From a fantasy perspective.
Yeah, he's just
and Brandon Bolden is still there too, which I mean, it's just an eyesore at this point. Like,
don't even worry about Brandon Bolden.
Yeah, right. But it's just it's
15
annoying.
carries last year.
And James White's here, so obviously Sony is not getting the receiving work. He had 12 receptions, so he wasn't even getting 1 reception per game. Not good. There's the cons. Let's go over I don't even know what the pros are. The pros are Cam Newton is most likely going to get more opportunities for Sony Michel.
He had 7 touchdowns. That's his pro. Consistency, 6 and 7 touchdowns.
I guess the pro with Cam Newton on the team now is hopefully they have more opportunities to score than they would have with Stedham.
I think, Sonny Michel, even though you say, he didn't have a great year, he still finished just in standard, at least, a running back 24, which puts him technically, if you're playing in a 12-team league, as the last RB2.
Yeah.
And if I'm thinking of Sonny Michel right now, I don't consider him an RB2.
Yeah. So maybe from a redraft perspective, you get him for pretty good value.
Yeah, and he can just be a plug and play flex.
That's true. Actually, I mean, I wouldn't hate to have the guy on my bench.
Yeah, that's exactly. I mean, there's certain games where he really shit the bed, like the first week of the season where he had 15 attempts for 14 yards, 9 attempts for 11 against the Jets.
You rather? Let's do a little would you rather with him because
we'll say he did have one huge game where he had 3 touchdowns, but he also actually had a 19 attempts for 42 yards, 2.2 per carry.
Yeah, would you rather have him? Would you rather have Sony Michel or Philip Lindsay?
Philip Lindsay.
Why?
I just think he's a better running back. I don't even care that you have Melvin Gordon there as well as Royce Freeman, but at this point, whatever.
Royce Freeman is literally a sinking ship.
He's just gone. He's gone.
Yeah. Le'Veon Bell or Sony Michel. Is that too obvious? Yeah, I'm really having. Okay. Devin Singletary or Sony Michel?
Singletary.
Michel did not finish 24th.
He did in standard, it says, on Sleeper.
Am I in PPR?
In PPR, it says 31.
31?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't even see him. I have Naheem Hines there. Here he is, 30. Okay, 30. He's right in front of Carl. Okay, so let's do a little comparison around. My God, Latavius Murray finished in front of him, Jim. So did Duke Johnson.
Oh, they also drafted they drafted Damian Harris 2 years ago now, 2018, whatever it was. Maybe he ends up seeing work. He only had 4 rushes.
I do remember Damian Harris. Yeah, I don't know. Probably not, right?
Yeah, I mean, reports say things, and then you never know what's actually going to happen.
Let me do one more. Would you rather AP for redraft? AP or Sony? I got one more after that too.
Sony, because I think they're gonna. As long as Guy stays healthy, I think he'll actually take
Okay,
more.
and then Jordan Howard's on the Dolphins now. Jordan Howard or Sony Michel. Give me Jordan Howard.
Yeah, I'll say Jordan Howard, but I'd rather not have either.
Yeah, but they're both pieces that I wouldn't mind having on my bench. I like the touchdown potential for both.
We'll say Jordan Howard did miss 6 games last year, though.
Yeah, with a stinger.
Yeah.
So
it's a lot of games to miss with a stinger.
So basically, Sony is a guy that needs to fall in the end zone to have a good game.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what it comes
Unless
down
he
to.
can get his yards per carry up another yard.
And he's very scripted. A very scripted player. If the script is the Patriots are losing the game, he's not putting up points. Because James White's playing the game. Right?
I mean, the thing is, too, it's not like it's a shortage of volume. Like, he almost had 247 carries. So that's a great chunk of carries. It's just if
he's
he
just
averaged,
not productive.
No. I mean, sure, he could do better next year. We'll see. But I think James White's going to be dominating this backfield this coming year.
End of the day, PPR, I have Sony Michel as a low-end RB2/flex and James White.
PPR?
Yes. Low-end RB2.
You're crazy.
RB3. James White, I have him as a mid RB2 range with a very high ceiling.
I agree.
So you're saying Sony's just a 3?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, a low end 2 could be RB28.
Yeah, depending on how deep the league is. That's
right.
fair. I always have to consider there's so many different formats to play with Dynasty specifically that things can be. Sony Michel could be your RB2 in some leagues if you're playing like a crazy 20 team, 3 running back.
Funny thing is, there's 20 tight ends on this team. I'm not going to talk about a single one of them.
Just the ones, 2 of them are rookies, so.
Okay, sorry guys, not talking about them.
Yeah, I mean, I think
anything else you would like to add about them? And then I have a question to ask you, so we can have a little fun in this episode.
I have nothing else to add.
All right, so what's his name? Okay, I'll plug him in or something at the end. I forgot his name. So I saw it on Twitter. He asked Matthew Berry, one of the FF ballers, and someone else.
Mm-hmm.
It is, would you rather have Saquon Barkley and Christian McCaffrey, right? Okay. Or would you rather have pick 107, so first round 7th pick? Oh, and then you miss.
Wait, 1 through 7? Or?
No, listen. So you have Saquon Barkley and McCaffrey, right? You get both,
yes,
but you miss 5. You don't get to draft again until round 7, right?
Okay.
Okay,
in a start. Okay.
Yeah, or you get pick 107.
So you have the 7th pick, is what you're saying, through the whole draft, or you can't draft again until the 7th round.
Yes.
Okay. Wow, that's very. I've never thought about something like that. But
so you miss every round until you can't draft another player until round 7, but you have Saquon Barkley and McCaffrey.
I'd have to do something like that where I actually draft to see what's available for me. Because your running backs are set. As long as barring injury, you literally have the best.
Well, let's think about it, right? So if you have McCaffrey and Barkley and you can't draft again until round 7. Lamar Jackson wasn't drafted most rounds until round 13 to 16 last year.
Well, that's not happening anymore. So let's not say that.
I'm just saying, there's quarterbacks available. You could
take sure. Quarterback's not the position. At that point, all you're struggling for is wide receivers. And I'm sure you're going to get a decent tight end.
Yeah.
So it's just a wide receiver. I actually really might be worth it. Holy shit.
I think it'd be worth it 100%.
That would be interesting. That would be really interesting.
I mean, you can get something close to that if you want to go back to back.
Okay, so what's your pick then if you're going, where do you pick in the 7th round?
Let's just say you get the first pick in the 7th round.
Okay, that's interesting. It also depends how many teams that there are at that point too.
Say 10. Let's say 10. 10 men.
It's probably worth it then.
Dude, I would 100% say it's worth it.
And actually, yeah, because the receiver, you can find a lot more receivers later on than you
Let
can
me just
running backs.
plug this. I got this from the Smitty Show at the _Smitty_show. Works for CBS Sports Radio. Awesome idea. I mean,
It is.
it's crazy to think about, really.
So, like, for example, I guess that means I would literally offer you.
Right?
Okay, let's say I'm first pick and draft, your second pick, is I guess what it would be.
Mm-hmm.
And then I offer my second through 6th round picks for your first, is basically what it would be.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. That also means you could have a stacked team and get so much value, though. Oh my god.
I don't know.
There'd be some two-headed monsters there.
I think it'd be crazy to have McCaffrey and Barkley.
It would be.
And I'm sure there's some people out there that have that.
Yeah, very lucky people. All right. Well, I think that was pretty fun.
Yeah, that about wraps it up.
Mm-hmm.
So what are we doing next for Monday? Are we gonna do a tight end video? We can do. I think we'll do our tight end video Monday, and then we might as well move through. What division's that? The AFC
East.
AFC East.
Yeah.
The Jets, the Dolphins, and the Bills.
Great stuff.
Very, very exciting. We might honestly be able to start combining two of these into one. Yeah. Episodes are like 20 minutes. So.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think after that,
we'll see what we want to do.
We're going to start doing some more mock drafts.
Sounds good.
Thank you all for watching. Cam Newton will be a QB1 this year. Like and subscribe.